The Economic Freedom Fighters says it has noted with concern a social media post by US President Donald Trump in which he expressed reservations about actually attending the upcoming G20 summit that will be held in South Africa. In the post, Trump cited land confiscations and what he referred to as genocide here in South Africa as prime reasons for potentially not attending the November summit. Meanwhile, the MK party says South Africa should focus its energy on strengthening relations with BRICS nations, while the ANC says its government employees are handling the matter.
The EFF takes serious exception to Donald Trump's connection of his false claims of land confiscations and a genocide against white South African families with the president of the EFF, especially since we know that Donald Trump governs through social media. As the EFF, we would like to tell the tariff-wielding barbarian that he would be lucky to still be president of the USA by the time the G20 summit occurs in South Africa, following his reckless and economic illiteracy which has plunged the US economy into a recession and launched them into a trade war with China and Europe. The G20 summit in South Africa should be the least of Donald Trump's concerns, and he should focus on the allegations against him of manipulating the US stock market by imposing tariffs on numerous countries across the world and then giving trading advice to his billionaire friends before pausing the tariffs for 90 days. Trump essentially used the US economy as a means to practice insider trading and defraud the American people of billions in their life savings and pensions. He himself has committed an economic genocide on the ordinary American people and the US economy. As the EFF, we condemn Donald Trump for the havoc he has caused to the global economy and view his utterances against South Africa as part of a premeditated strategy to impose sanctions on our country and our political leadership. It is a strategy of imperialism to frame a nation it intends to invade and disrupt politically and economically as a nation that is violating human rights before making an intervention that disrupts that nation's prosperity for decades to come. We have seen this strategy in Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Cuba, Venezuela, and many other nations. Today, because South Africa and the president of the EFF has correctly condemned the USA's role in funding the genocide of Palestinian people by apartheid Israel, Trump has turned his attention to South Africa. It is no coincidence that he uses the images of the president of the EFF to make his claims, because the president of the EFF is at the forefront of demanding the return of the land to the African majority, and he has pursued this using constitutional means. The EFF advises Donald Trump not to use South Africa as a reason to avoid facing his global peers at the G20 summit in South Africa, since he has embarrassed himself and the United States of America with his poor grasp of the tariff system. His non-attendance would be an opportunity for the leading nations of the world to consolidate an economic recovery plan that does not rely on the US dollar and is welcomed, but it is clear that he fears facing his counterparts following his humiliating tariff stunt.
I think the issue we have consistently articulated as well in relation to the United States of America is that let's adhere to the vision of President Jacob Zuma on building sustainable relationships with the BRICS countries. It's President Zuma who joined BRICS because he could foresee that the imperialist West will always want to bully the global South. And that is exactly what is happening now, that you must be told today tariff is 20%, is 30%, you must change trade relations and all of those things there. We have got sustainable friendships that started when President Zuma was head of state and president, with Brazil, with Russia, with China, with India. That group of countries constitute almost 40% of the global population. That is a very huge market. Their economy combined is more than these countries of imperialism, the neo-colonial countries which oppress the African continent. So America, UK, France, Japan, and all of those things in the G7, their economies are far smaller than the countries in the BRICS basket. And President Zuma has given us a compass as South Africa, as a people, that this is the direction that we must go. So South Africa should intensify its relationship with the BRICS countries. Must utilize this 90-day period to now look for alternate markets, because you can't trust the imperialist West. They are always self-seeking. Their relationship between themselves and the African continent has been a relationship of exploiter and exploited. has been a relationship of a rider and a horse, the horse being the African continent, towards which direction we do not know. So we've got a relationship that we must protect, and we again thank President Jacob Zuma on his birthday for giving us a compass of working within the BRICS framework.
We've just seen that in the media. We have no awareness whether the president has any official correspondence to that effect. And all we can do is to watch that develops and wait for our deployees in government who assist with the matter of our relationship with the U.S. administration and are handling that from a trade and industry perspective and from all other dimensions of diplomacy. We have said that this must be left to the government, who are more than competent to handle matters of discord. So this is, I think this is just but one of the matters that must be deferred and referred to the team that has been appointed by the president of the country to handle conversations and engagements with the U.S. administration.